Have personal setbacks or tragic circumstances affected your career? Reclaim your power and influence in the professional world after going through grief. Prepare for an incredible experience.
Welcome to Overcoming Grief, a show for women experiencing profound grief and looking for support in healing and transforming their lives. If you are ready to heal after a loss, create a new self-identity, take responsibility to do the hard things, and get massive results in your life, this show is for you. Now, here's your host, Master Grief and Life Coach, Sandy Linda.
Hello, everyone. How are you all doing? Happy June. We're halfway through 2024. Wow. Some of you may be going on summer vacations or road trips, and I want to congratulate the graduates of 2024. And never fear, you will still receive continuous healing tips and strategies on more episodes this summer. If this is your first time here, welcome. I serve as your guide, providing tips for overcoming grief and empowering your personal and professional well-being. If you recently lost a loved one, I send you healing thoughts and blessings as you walk this path. Thanks for tuning in. Life can be full of unexpected and difficult tests. Personal tragedies like loss or setbacks can greatly impact our confidence and purpose, shaking the foundation of our careers. These experiences can leave us feeling powerless and uncertain about our resilience. How do you cope with grief and a stressful job? When life gets tough and you're dealing with stress from work and personal life, it's common to doubt yourself and worry about the future. It's tough to handle the pressure of having all the answers in these moments, especially when the answers are hard to grasp and goals are always shifting. And feeling uncertain can trigger imposter syndrome and make it hard to accept slow progress. When there are no clear guidelines or directions, it's normal to feel out of control. But today, my fabulous folks, we stand together to redefine our path. In this episode, I will share advice on moving forward professionally after experiencing grief and reclaiming your power. So, tell me this, can you relate to feeling completely overwhelmed by grief while also having to show up and be on top of your game at a high-pressure job? What's that like? Let me introduce to you Lena, a dedicated nurse practitioner I met during a recent hospital stay. Lena works at a prestigious hospital and is admired for her diligent care and commitment to patients like me. Lena has always been there for her family, handling her job and looking after her aging parents. She finds fulfillment in helping those in need at the emergency room. Despite her professional success, Lena faced unimaginable personal tragedy that profoundly affected her confidence and composure at work. In 2020, Lena's world fell apart when her mother was diagnosed with a rare and aggressive cancer. The news hit her like a tidal wave, knocking the breath out of her. She spent 4 weeks by her mother's side, balancing her demanding job with caregiving. Hospital nights as a nurse and a daughter became a blur. Despite her efforts, her mother's condition rapidly declined. Lena carried out medical tasks professionally during the day, but cried alone at night. The emotional strain made it difficult for her to breathe. After her mother's death, Lena faced more heartbreaking news. Her father, unable to cope, suffered a severe heart attack. Despite her medical expertise and the efforts of her colleagues, he passed away. Lena felt overwhelmed by grief, as if caught in a relentless storm of sorrow. At work, She struggled to maintain her professional demeanor. Her once steady hands now trembled as she administered care. The hospital lights, once symbols of hope, now felt cold and harsh, following her inner emptiness. There's more to Lena's story. Despite feeling sad and lost, she reclaimed her confidence and excelled in her professional life. It took time, but Lena found her path to healing and empowerment. Lena had the pleasure of engaging the conversation with me because she felt comfortable in sharing this story with me and why this podcast show came to fruition for me to share some tips and advice of how you can reclaim your power and your confidence after going through such a devastating loss. Female leaders who experience personal loss face extra pressure to appear professional, affecting their ability to lead. Now, there's a study that found that women in leadership position often feel increased scrutiny after a personal tragedy, which can deeply impact their confidence and leadership capabilities. So let's explore how you, like Lena, can reclaim your power in professional settings after experiencing significant grief. Here are some practical tips and tools to help you navigate this challenging journey. From building emotional resilience to leveraging professional support, these strategies can make a difference in your recovery. So here are your post-grief tips for navigating your professional path. Number 1, self-awareness. Understand your emotions and how grief has affected your professional behavior and decision-making. Self-reflection and journaling can help identify your emotional triggers and responses. Lena faced crossroads after a deep tragedy. The sudden and heartbreaking loss of both of her parents left her staggering, and the weight of grief seemed unbearable. Beside the emotional toll, Lena faced constant challenges at the hospital during the pandemic. The loss of patients, political tensions, and workload created a toxic work environment, taking a heavy toll on her well-being. To prioritize her well-being and allow herself time to grieve, Lena chose to take a leave of absence from her job. Her choice required courage, but it was necessary. She wanted to focus on her devastating losses and restore her well-being. Number 2, rebuild confidence through small wins. Taking small steps and setting realistic goals can rebuild your confidence and provide a sense of accomplishment. Completing these tasks will help you regain momentum in your career and prove your competence. Lena took time off to address her devastating loss and seek support through grief counseling. Because when you just suddenly lost someone, I always advise start out with grief counseling or bereavement counseling. Through therapy, she processed her feelings and found peace with her parents' death. She learned to manage her grief and believed she could rebuild her confidence. She even coped by asking me for writing prompts that would help her feel better and see her progress. Writing allowed her to recognize her achievements and manage her emotions with grace and self-compassion. Number 3, strengthen your resilience and learn to adapt. Reducing stress and improving clarity can be achieved by practicing mindfulness techniques like meditation, deep breathing, exercise, or yoga. Implementing these practices regularly will empower you to stay strong and focused in your work life, even during turbulent times. Lena made time for herself and pursued joyful activities. She found comfort in nature, stayed active, and surrounded herself with supportive loved ones. Over time and with support, Lena was starting to rebuild her resilience and learning to adapt. And her adaptability was she kept learning and developing her skills to stay sharp. And you could attend workshops, seek mentorship, or pursue further education to stay relevant and confident in your field. Lena has been writing in her journal a lot, reflecting on her possible return to work. Concerned about the disorganized state of the hospital, she has undergone a transformational life experience. She wanted to shift her expertise to other areas that will make her happy and comfortable. She had greater strength, empathy, and determination to change the world. She decided not to go back to the hospital, but decided to work in other areas that was fulfilling her joy and rebuilding her resilience to overcome those sudden devastating loss. Rebuilding your professional power after grief is tough, but possible. Learn from Lena's journey. The most critical strategies are prioritizing self-care and rebuilding confidence through small wins. Lena courageously took a leave of absence to process her grief, reflect, and restore her well-being. This act of self-care gave her the strength to eventually rebuild her confidence by small accomplishments. Bit by bit, she regained her momentum. No matter where you are in your grief journey, remember to be gentle with yourself and focus on one step at a time. Small daily victories will compound and empower you to reclaim your leadership. You will have the resilience within to rise up again, just as Lena did. For a bonus journaling prompt to thrive as a leader to reclaim your power and voice at your workplace. Journaling helps navigate grief in personal and professional areas. I invite you to participate in a reflective journaling exercise. And this is one of the journaling prompts that she told me that I gave her back when she asked me for a prompt. And this helped her actually to reflect on her decision about returning to her position as a nurse practitioner. So here's your journaling prompt. Imagine yourself 5 years from now, having successfully overcome your grief and reclaim your power as a leader. What wisdom and strength did your future self gain? Write about this prompt and what it represents in your grief and healing journey. Give yourself about 10 to 15 minutes and let me know how this journaling exercise resonates with you and also if it had an impact. And if today's discussion helped, please share this episode with someone in your life on a similar path. Each share extends support and understanding across our community. Join us next time as we explore themes that enhance our professional and personal growth. That's it for today. Have a pleasant week. Bye.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of Overcoming Grief. If you're ready to move into a new, rewarding life experience and want more information about how to work with Sandy, visit www.sandylinda.com.